What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley, Dauber, and the Indie Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. VAWLS fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby. Go Big Orange.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and we have been spending a lot of time. It has been a chaotic week, especially the weekend, talking about the transfer portal, counting down to early signing day coming up this Wednesday. We'll be doing a live stream that night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, breaking down everybody that puts pen to paper for the Vols, but it almost seems like we have forgotten that Tennessee is going to be participating in a bowl game coming up, the Music City Bowl against the Purdue Boilermakers. Some news just came out about that. It's this. This is a tweet from Tom Deanhart. He is a Purdue beat writer. Says, Jeff Brom says George Karlaftis and David Bell won't play in bowl game. Now, this really doesn't come as a surprise. Both guys have already put out the information that they will be entering the NFL draft, and there was speculation as to whether or not they would opt out. Now, what does this mean for the Music City Bowl? What does this mean for Tennessee in this football game? Well, this is a huge blow. This is a huge blow to Purdue. You're talking about your top producer on offense and also your top producer on defense. When you look at what George Karlaftis does, stat-wise, maybe he doesn't blow you away. He has 25 tackles on the season, 4.5 sacks, but he's a guy that commands a double. You got to put a double team on George Karlaftis. He is a difference maker. He is a game changer, but he won't be participating in the Music City Bowl. Now switch over to David Bell on the offensive side of the ball for Purdue. Has 93 catches for almost 1,300 yards and 6 touchdowns. So Purdue is losing their top player on offense as well as their top player on defense. So this is a huge advantage for Tennessee, but it brings up the question, is it okay for players to opt out of a bowl game? We put so much emphasis on getting to 6 wins, getting to that bowl game, an opportunity for those extra practices, but all across the country it seems like we have more and more players choosing to opt out so that they can prepare for the NFL draft. I want to have that conversation. First and foremost, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that thumbs up just below the video. If you would hit that, it would help the channel. We would appreciate it. Also, if you are new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, go ahead and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications so you don't miss out when we go live, when we drop new content. Like I said, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to be covering early signing day, recruiting, all that good stuff. But also we cover the basketball program tomorrow night immediately following the game. Dauber and the Indie Kid will be live, so make sure you tune in for that as well. But let's go ahead and jump into this. This is an article. This is at the USA Today. Mike Leach says players opting out of bowl games, one of the biggest absurdities that I have seen. Love him or hate him, Mike Leach is a personality. The article here says the idea of a player opting out of a bowl game rankles Mike Leach. The Mississippi State football coach has seen the practice plenty over the years as some players prepare for the NFL, but he doesn't agree with the tendency. Says, in fact, Leach decried it Saturday when he met with the media after the first practice of the Bulldogs' preparation for the Liberty Bowl against Texas Tech. Leach said players ought to finish what they started that season. Now, first and foremost, my personal opinion, I agree with that mindset. I agree. Finish what you started. You talk about your brothers. What do we see when guys hit the transfer portal? They talk about how much they love their brothers and how they've went to war together and this, that, and the other. But the bottom line is everybody is looking out for themselves. Now, you can come to the comment section. You can tell me about Brian Kelly and $15 million. That's true, too. It doesn't matter if it's a player or if it's a coach or if it's the water boy. Everybody looks out for me first. The quote here from Mike Leach, you got an obligation to the place that helped build and develop you and finish it out in the bowl game. He says that's part of it. You owe it to your team. You owe it to your fans. You owe it to your coaches. And it's the most bizarre thing in the world to me. Leach goes on. He says, somebody says, well, I can't play one more game. They think they're going to have a storied 10-year NFL career, and then they can't play one more college game. Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, guys will go to the NFL, they'll make the Pro Bowl, and then they'll play in the Pro Bowl. It is one of the biggest absurdities that I've seen, and it is selfish too. I got to be honest, guys. I agree with the Pirate. I agree with Mike Leach. Yeah, he's a little bit out there. Yeah, he's a little bit quacky sometimes. But when it comes to this, I agree with him. Do you not have a commitment to the team, to the coaches? Goes back to Harrison Bailey. Not to keep throwing the kid under the bus, but it is what it is. He put Tennessee in a bad situation. Luckily, it didn't impact anything in the long run. But when you leave a team with 2 scholarship players, when you've got a guy out there like Hendon Hooker, who he could go down on any play. It's you live and die with Hendon Hooker, because what makes him so special and unique also makes it dangerous when Hendon Hooker is on the field to play. But Harrison Bailey wants to tweet out and talk about his brothers and how much he loves them and supports them. But he didn't finish what he started. The commitment he made to the team, to the players. There's nothing wrong with transferring, but finish what you started. And that's what Mike Leach is saying here when it comes to players opting out of a bowl game. The article goes on here, says Leach didn't call out any player on Mississippi State specifically when asked whether the Bulldogs had any players opting out of the Liberty Bowl. The coach said he did not know. Leach said offensive tackle Charles Cross, a potential first rounder in the 2022 NFL Draft, didn't practice Saturday. Leach couldn't remember if cornerback Martin Emerson practiced Saturday, one day after he announced his intention to forego his senior year to enter the NFL Draft. Cross hasn't officially announced whether he'll enter the draft or not. Says Leach tends to be against players leaving college early to pursue the next level too. He said his advice to players who think about departing before graduation is to remain in school. Says there are cases where those players have too many voices in their head, and then there's too many people that don't know what they're doing talking to them, Leach added. Said that can steer players toward entering the draft early, even if Leach doesn't advise them to. Now, here's the quote from Leach. The NFL generally gives them that same advice. If you're the NFL, you don't care if anybody comes out early. Why would you care? Because if you're good enough to play in the league, you're going to play there anyway, and then more reps you have, the more games you play, the more polished you are, the better shot you have at making the team, and the better chance the NFL has of realizing their investment that they put into these guys. The quote goes on, a specific team might want some position and think if it'll sequence for them, may want a player here or there to come out because they're in a position. Sometimes Mike Leach is difficult to read in a quote. Goodness gracious, Mike. Let's get on track here. He says, but the league as a whole, well, if you're good enough to play in that league, they're going to get you anyway, and the better you are, the more skills you develop, the better chances to make the team. I will say this. I agree what he's saying when it comes to the bowl game, because that is still part of the 2021 season. And you have players opting out for personal gain, for selfish reasons. In my opinion, if you disagree, that's fine. Put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. But you were committed to finishing a season, but you're opting out early. Now, a guy leaving early, a guy leaving to go to the NFL draft and make that money, I got no problem with that. I don't know what background a kid comes from, where his family comes from, what his circumstances are. You can always go back and get your degree, but you come back for an entire season, you tweak a knee, you go down. There goes your NFL dream. There goes that big payday. Now, some of you might say, Boogie, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. It's the same thing for a bowl game. Maybe I am. But I think you should be committed to finishing the season that you started. There's a line there in the sand for me. There's a difference in quitting with one game left in the season and opting to enter the NFL draft early. There's a difference. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys know the deal. Hit that comment section and let me know. The main point of the article, the main story, big news for Tennessee football as they head into the Music City Bowl. Purdue Boilermakers going to be without their two best players, one on offense, one on defense, as George Karlaftis and David Bell have confirmed that they will not play in the bowl game. As of now, it sounds like Alontae Taylor probably won't be participating as well, but that seems to be more due to injury. He's banged up. Kind of wonder if Cade Mays as well. We'll see if Cade Mays gets healthy as the team has returned to the practice field, getting ready for that Music City Bowl. But like I said, hit that comment section. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Either way is fine. We'll have a conversation about it. If you haven't done so yet, please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, Don't forget to join us Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Also tomorrow, immediately following the basketball game. Go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' Vols Network. Go to bonfire.com/store/TalkinVols. But this is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs